So welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story comes from More Fun Comics number 95 from February 1944. Pleasant things, hobbies, useful, instructive, entertaining, and sometimes dangerous. Martin Maine, for instance, has a harmless hobby that leads him straight into the deadliest peril imaginable. I don't think so. So that if not for the magic figure of Dr. Fate, both Mr. Maine and his hobby would be going up in smoke in this adventure that begins with a flame in the night. So we got some crooks out there. Put out that light, you sap. Want him to see us? We ain't supposed to arrive until later. I didn't mean nothing, Deadpan. So they are out to kill this stranger walking in the night. And they do. Good shooting, Packy. You'll never do no more chiseling again. So they go to escape. But one of the crooks says, hey, boss, I just realized. When I lit that cigarette, I threw away what you told me to save. And they spot this elderly man bending down and picking up whatever it was he dropped. We got to get it back. Come on, you sap. What are you waiting for? Could it be he knows what it is, boss? Never mind whether he knows or not. We've got to get it back. Give it to him now. But Dr. Fate shows up. Look, boss, Dr. Fate. Curse him. He would have to interfere at a time like this. Back to the car. So he approaches this old man and asks what's going on. I don't know, Dr. Fate. I was just, I thought it was just an automobile backfiring. I was hurrying home and didn't see anybody else. Well, I'll just take a good look so that I'll be able to find you again whenever I wish. So the elderly man heads off, and Dr. Fate comes across a dead body. Using his crystal ball, he manages to see the elderly man in his home and decides to pay him a visit. Packy, you're not only a sap, you're the biggest sap in the world. Throwing away what made it worthwhile to kill Loco. Stop riding me, boss. I told you already, it was an accident. And is it my fault Dr. Fate had to come along? So they're looking at the newspaper and they see this headline. Martin Maine, local man, has unique hobby. So this newspaper must be pretty slow for that to make the headline. Luck is with us. We can get it back, but we got to act fast. Boss, we're on our way. So he shows up at the man's house. What's this? Seems I'm not the only visitor. So he comes in. What? Looks like a firebug's den. That guy again. What's he trying to do? Get us sore? So he starts knocking him around, punching him out, and a fire starts. And there's a whole pile of stuff there on the floor. Come on, pal, I haven't any time to waste on you. I have to finish these crooks up outside. My treasures, I must save them. Let me down. Oh, my treasures. So he drags the man outside. My entire collection burned. At least the flames burned out without setting the fire to the house itself. And I don't see that you've lost much. You don't understand. My hobby is collecting matchboxes. I've spent years on them. But what did the crooks want? An empty matchbox I had picked up earlier in the evening when you saw me. They got it back before you came. So Dr. Fate's a little confused, but he heads out after them to find out what's going on. So he uses his ring to track them down to this house of Summerwaith Summers, the banker, and arrives and does his thing. You seem a bit confused, chum. Mind if I straighten you out with this left hook? And the police show up. Dr. Fate, I heard the noise of a fight, but I guess you don't need any help. But I do, officer. Give me a hand searching these thugs for I'm looking for a matchbox. Looks like an ordinary matchbox to me, Dr. Fate. What use could they have for it? I've studied it carefully without finding out. Well, there's just one more place to look, inside the matchbox cover. Ah, this must be the answer. Numbers, and I'll bet they're the combination to Mr. Summers' safe. But what do they have to do with the killing of Loco Fenton? I think we can figure that out. Playing the part of a butler, Loco must have found an opportunity to learn the combination. Yeah, we promised him a cut for it. Then he tried to hold us up for a bigger share of the dough. He said if we didn't come across, he'd rob Summers' joint himself. So we said, okay, pal, we'll give you your share. And when he came to collect, we rubbed him out. We don't like double-crossers. This guy must be mentally slow because he just confessed everything. And the law doesn't like murderers, as you'll find out. And your confession did not help your case. Much later, here you are, Mr. Maine. This is the matchbox you picked up. You'll be glad to know it led to the conviction of the criminals. Gosh, with that in it, the new collection I'm starting will be the best yet. Thanks, Dr. Fate. I don't know, man. I don't mean to be a downer, but you're not a young-looking man, and I'm not sure how many matchboxes you're going to collect. If it's going to compare to that pile you had earlier.